Children, for 10th standard today we are going to study about the ear, and ear is one of the sense organ which we by help of which we hear. Now the ear is divided into three parts. We say the external ear, the middle ear and the internal ear. Now many of you must be knowing that ear is not only hearing organ, it is also a balancing organ. So part of the internal ear is related to static balance and dynamic balance, but a part of the ear is also related to the hearing process. So generally in the ear, from the ear there are two nerves which are emanating. One is the auditory nerve, another is the vestibular nerve. Auditory nerve is related to hearing and vestibular nerve is related to balance of the body, that is the static balance and the dynamic balance. Now see this diagram here. This is the diagram which is showing the ear. This is the external ear. This external ear, it consists of this helix and the pinna. Okay, and then there is the auditory canal here, and inside this auditory canal there are types of cell here, which is glands here, which are called ceruminous gland, and this ceruminous gland secrete a substance called cerumen or the ear wax. Now the function of the ear wax is that it is bactericidal and it helps in killing the germs that may enter through the ear. Here we have so from here to here, the auditory canal or the external auditory meatus and the pinna is the external ear. From here to here, where the ear ossicles are there, that region is the middle ear. So from here to here it is the middle ear. So you have the tympanic membrane here, and the tympanic membrane on the reverse side is attached to the three small bones in the middle ear. The first bone is called the malleus, the second bone is called the incus, and the third bone is called the stapes. It has other name also, the hammer, the anvil and the stirrup. Okay, so these three bones together are called the ear ossicles, and this is the stapes, which is the smallest bone and the smallest muscle also in human body is located here, which is called the stapedius muscle. From the middle ear there is a connecting tube. This tube is called the eustachian tube. This is connected to the throat region. So what is the function of this eustachian tube? They maintain a balance of pressure in the middle ear and the external ear. If this tube is closed due to suppose common cold and sometimes mucus and all accumulate here, then the pressure increases on this side and it is not balanced, so there is a ringing in the ear is felt. And if this tube is clean, then the pressure is equated on both the sides. So the function of the eustachian tube is to maintain the balance between the middle ear and the external ear. Now this here it is you can see the stapes is connected to a place called the fenestra ovalis. This fenestra ovalis is also known as the oval window. This is called stirrup because it looks like the stirrup of the horse. So from this oval window it is connected here to a tube which is a snail-like tube, and this tube is called the cochlea. Now inside the cochlea there are three chambers which we are going to discuss later on. So this is the cochlea, and this cochlea is related to the hearing process. And from the cochlea you can see this is the cochlear nerve or the auditory nerve. Just above the cochlea here there is one small organ. This is called the semicircular canal, the sacculus and the utriculus. The vestibule and the semicircular canal. Vestibule is a small connection. The semicircular canal is related to the dynamic balance, and inside the semicircular canal there is a fluid which is called the endolymph, and which is a membranous, and outside it is called the perilymph. This is enclosed in a bony labyrinth, and this is membranous. So the membranous labyrinth contains this endolymph, and in the lower part of this endolymph here there are some sense organs, and inside this endolymph there are some types of small calcium carbonate particles which move around this three mutually perpendicular semicircular canal and hit this area called the macula, and this creates a sensation of what we call the dynamic balance, which is carried by the vestibular nerve. Just below that is the sacculus and the utriculus, and in the sacculus and the utriculus is related to static balance. The static balance is something like when we are not moving, then also we balance the body. So that type of balancing is called the static balance. Now we'll see that in details about the internal structure of the cochlea. Now you can see this is the cochlea, means if you take the cross section of the cochlea, and these are the sense organ. You can see the auditory nerve is emanating from here. The outer is called the scala. This is one chamber. The outer chamber is called a scala vestibuli, which is towards the vestibule. The middle chamber is called the scala media, and the lower chamber is called the scala tympani. And there are three membranes here. This membrane, which is separating the scala vestibuli and the scala tympani, is called the Risner's membrane. And here you have a membrane which is called the tectorial membrane, and the membrane which is separating the scala tympani and the scala media is called the basilar membrane. On the top of this basilar membrane, there are certain hair-like structures or hair-like cells. These are called outer hair cells. These outer hair cells are called the organ of the Corti. This organ of Corti is related to the function of carrying away the sensation of hearing. Now what happens actually? Now this outer two chamber is filled with perilymph, a type of fluid, and the inner chamber contains the endolymph. Now when the vibration comes here, just see on the diagram which is here, when the vibration comes here on the tympanic membrane, this is multiplied by this force multiplier of the ear ossicles, which creates a vibration on the fenestra ovalis or the oval window. Then it is transmitted like this. It goes all along this cochlear tube until the end, then returns with the inner chamber back to a place which is called the round window. So there are two windows. The oval window carries the sensation of the sound or the vibration, and it comes. Now when this vibration is set up here inside this, then the vibration is carried away also in the scala media. Now these are felt by this membrane, the Risner membrane, the tectorial membrane, the basilar membrane, and the organ of Corti. The organ of Corti is related to the carrying away of the sensation of the sound. But other membranes here, they also, they carry other sensations of the quality of the sound. Sound has different qualities. The loudness is there, the pitch is there. So all these membranes, they carry the different type of sensation from this cochlear chamber. So that is, if you see the detailed structure, a mechanized diagrammatical structure here, just see this diagram. Here this is showing a mechanized diagram of the cochlear chamber. So this is the outer, suppose the pinna, the sound is entering through this auditory canal, and this is the tympanic membrane. This tympanic membrane creates a vibration which is carried or increased by this force multiplier, the what you call malleus, incus, and stapes. This multiplies the vibration. Here this is the fenestra ovalis. They are carrying this through the scala vestibuli. The scala vestibuli is carrying the sound through this cochlear tube and going out here and ending in the fenestra rotunda, which is also known as the round window. Now this vibration usually is felt in this inner chamber also. So here it is filled with perilymph. This inner chamber is the endolymph. Here you have the hair cells or the organ of Corti. So the organ of Corti pick up this vibration and through the auditory nerve carry the sensation of sound. So if this is the organ of Corti, just below it will be the basilar membrane, and just above it will be the Risner's membrane. The tectorial membrane will be here along with the organ of Corti. So this is a mechanized diagram to make it easy so that you can understand that how the sensation of sound is carried through the cochlear tube. Now we have to know that as I told you that it is not the only the vibrations of the sound that is related in the organ of Corti. You have another organ here. Just see this. This is the internal ear, which is the semicircular canals, and this is the position of the semicircular canal. You can see these three canals are mutually perpendicular to each other, and here this is the sacculus and this is the utriculus. These two chambers are sacculus and the utriculus. And the base of this semicircular canal is swelled, and that is called the ampulla. In this ampulla, there is the location of the sense organ which carries the sensation of dynamic balance. So the vibrations are set up with the otoliths or the calcium carbonate particles here in the round window, which gives you the dynamic balance, and the sacculars and utriculars, they carry the sensation of the static balance. So this is the major part of the, like, you don't have to go in details about what is contained here, like the details of the macula, which is related to the static balance, which present in the sacculars and the utriculars, or what is present in the ampulla in the base of the semicircular canal. So this is what you have to know, that ear is concerned with the sensation of sound, as well as they carry away the different types of sense of the balancing. Now thank you very much, and for this next class we are going to start about the endocrine system. Till then, take care and go through the lesson. If you have any question, you can ask. Thank you.